So today I thought it would be fun to look at some things that are good and bad about being an Irish person abroad. If you don't know, I've been riding out the panoramic here in Spain, although I am originally from Ireland because the restrictions are a lot lower here in Spain than they are there. By the way, I totally get in America, you guys feel like it's all over and done, but it isn't in Europe. We are still very, very short vaccinations and things, so yeah, it's still very much a thing here. Before I get into today's video, do be sure to subscribe and maybe leave a like or a comment for the old algorithm, because if you don't, a curse will befall you, and that curse will be wet socks. Wet socks wherever you go. How did they get wet? I don't know, couldn't possibly say, but if you subscribe or comment or like, there's a good chance that won't happen to you. That's just the universe making it happen, not me. Okay, the first thing seems obvious, but I'm gonna go into it deeper why it's specific to Irish people. It's the language as a con. Okay, so obviously if I'm in Spain and people are talking Spanish, that's difficult. But what you might not know is Irish people speak a whole different English to even other English speaking countries. It's hella confusing. Irish people actually speak in the double negative a lot, especially when posing a question, which makes translating things to another language difficult and also makes it difficult for other English speakers to understand us. I might say to you, you wouldn't put that dish on the counter over there, would you? Yeah? You getting me? Oh, she wouldn't want to come for a drink next Friday, would she? Nah, she wouldn't. Double negative, hypothetical. What? Actually, when I think about it, that whole thing sounds really pessimistic. Like I'm expecting the worst case scenario. They're not going to do the thing I want, but it can work the other way too. She's coming to give me a hand with the boxes, isn't she? Yeah. You'll give me a lend of a fiver for my school project, won't you? That's us posing a question. Yeah, it's confusing. So we double negative and we double positive and we speak in the hypothetical. That doesn't even get us into the sarcasm that is actually us confirming or denying a statement, but it's just sarcasm.
Will you help me?
I will, yeah. She would, yeah. That's sarcasm, but other people take us up on it literally, because when you translate it literally, it does sound like we're confirming the fact. The pro when we go to another country is that all of a sudden the cúpla focal that we learned in school of Irish words, even the worst Irish speaker like me, suddenly feels like a genius and like we have a secret language we can communicate to one another when we want to bitch about things or talk about things. Ní bhfuilm an daoine, tá sí ina dóna. And don't forget, Unbhfuil ceadagam dul go dtí letters is the universal code for let's talk our secret language. Another con is that there are certain food items that will be invariably worse. For example, anything dairy. Ireland has the best dairy, I've said it before, and you will always get worse butter anywhere around the world. But if you want to get the good butter, the Irish butter, whatever, you will have to pay more money for it. The Guinness is obviously worse too. Just is different. I think the way that they store it is what affects taste, apparently. Yeah, it's worse.
Here's your Guinness.
Guinness? That's my favorite.
But a pro is that the cost of living in Ireland is really high, so other things will be cheaper. Like you can go for a whole meal for cheaper, you can get alcohol for much cheaper than you would in Ireland. So yeah, it kind of balances itself out, to be honest. Con, we do not tan. Okay, I'm not talking about my beautiful brothers and sisters who have in them somewhere some kind of lineage, ancestry, whereby a Spanish sailor went to Ireland and slept with their great-great-great-great-granny. I'm not talking about those people who are blessed with sallow skin. I'm not talking about the Irish of exotic ancestry, and I'm not talking about the black Irish. I'm talking about us regular Joe, pasty Irish people whose skin cannot be called fair, it can only be called transparent blue. Oh, but Diane, you have lovely skin. I'm wearing fake tan right now. I'm literally wearing fake tan. It doesn't even look like I'm that brown, but this is what I need to do to look like a human colour. The shade of white regular Joe Irish people are is unlike any colour in the world. You might have heard of fair skin described as porcelain. Not Irish fair skin. It's more like translucent, whereby you can see our blue veins and the odd freckle here and there. Maybe even if we expose ourselves to sunlight, a lot of freckles. I know a lot of people who come back from their summer holidays who have the same type of Irish skin as I have, and they try to convince me that they're tanned, but all I see is sun damage. Irish people predominantly just freckle and get cancer. That's it. That's what our skin does. Again, if you are blessed Awesome for you, but most of us aren't. On the pro side, here's a cool thing. We are suddenly interesting to look at according to other people. For example, pretty much everybody in Ireland has blue eyes. I'm talking the majority of people. It's actually one of the few countries in the world that has a majority of people with blue rather than brown eyes. But apparently that's quite unique when you go other places in the world and people think it's cool. Honestly, before I put up my YouTube channel, nobody said anything to me about my eyes before in my whole entire life. And honestly, I appreciate it. It makes me feel good about myself. But just where I'm from in Ireland, they're just very normal, average eyeballs. What you have in your head. Con. Wherever you go as an Irish person, people will automatically assume you are an English person. And the English people can be treated with some contempt in other countries because of the old history. You know, taking over the land and like making all the people subservient and stuff. What? I'm not saying anything. But pro, everyone will be delighted when they find out you're Irish because everybody pretty much universally loves Irish people. Irish people have this unique place in the world whereby we fit in everywhere. We have feet in the rich Western world and we also have feet in our poor colonial past. So everybody kind of just likes us mostly. We occupy a unique space between native English speaking Anglo-Saxon people as well as those non-English speaking people who we can relate to too. We have a good education system. We're pretty neutral. We have no natural enemies in the world. So usually when you say you're Irish, most people are delighted to hear that and will usually have a story or two about somebody they know that's Irish or that they're related to. So it's always good to just say you're Irish in another country. People like us, apparently. Maybe not us individually. Maybe people hate me. Irish people have not been colonizers for a millennium. So generally speaking, we are well received everywhere. People mostly like Irish people, so it's good. It's a good thing. It's nice. Con, wherever you go and you leave Ireland, suddenly your life expectancy goes down, unless you're in Norway or Switzerland. Ireland is now ranked as the third most developed country in the world, with a life expectancy on average of 83.6 years for women and 79.7 years for men, because men just can't cope, you know? And that's just the average. You probably would expect to live a little bit longer than that. Our education system is pretty good, and infrastructurally we have a lot of up-to-date technology. So when you leave Ireland, everywhere is going to feel like it has crap Wi-Fi. As of January 2021, Ireland's economy is outstanding every other place in Europe, but that's probably not going to be the case for long with the old recession kicking in. On that note, there is almost full employment and wages are getting to be more equal between men and women. There's still a lot of work to do, but mostly we're getting there. So when you go anywhere else, it's going to feel a little bit behind. On the plus side, life is a lot more laid back. Certainly in other countries in Europe, not so much if we go to America though. Irish people work and rush a lot, whereas everywhere else in Europe, they tend to be a lot more laid back and get time off. As opposed to if you go to America, where time off and holidays really have to be fought for within a company. Also, anywhere outside of Ireland, you can usually predict the weather. Usually in Spain here, if it says it's going to rain that day, it's going to rain. Whereas in Ireland, because we are such a tiny island surrounded by water, it can rain pretty much any day. It can rain a sunny day, it can rain a cold day. It's just hard to say when it's going to rain. And honestly, not getting Wi-Fi can sometimes be a good thing. It means you have to kick back and relax a little. So I hope you enjoyed today's look at some pros and cons of living outside of Ireland and being abroad. If you like this kind of content, I could do more of it, but you'll just have to let me know below.
Today's video is a special tribute to all the moms without kids and kids without their moms this Mother's Day. I'd like to commemorate that by shouting out patron Eric's mom, who in her own words said, "In the end, Carrie did not lose her long battle with cancer. They sort of came to an agreement. Carrie decided when the fight was over and cancer bowed its head, knowing it was a draw, and walked away from a worthy opponent." Eric says, "Although this is the first Mother's Day without you, you'll never be too far away because your children will hold you in their hearts forever."
That's it for today. We'll see you on the other side. Bye. Outside of Ireland, Irish people, By the way, I totally get the shade of white your regular Joe Irish person is unlike any other shade in the world. You might refer to the shade of white Irish people, the shade of white on the pros as if you don't, that doesn't even get us into the sarcasm that is actually, that doesn't even get us into the